At this hour, protesters bring Hong Kong's airport to a standstill for a second day running. The territory's leader warning the city is being pushed to the brink of no return. Then a CNN exclusive report on the Russian president's private army led by the man that people call Putin's chef. How is he secretly cooking up support in Africa? Plus, Jeffrey Epstein's death could mean legal trouble for his alleged co-conspirators, the latest on possible sex trafficking connections. All that and much more right here at the International Desk. Welcome, I'm Lynda Kinkade. We start in Hong Kong, where confrontations are erupting at the international airport as protests force dozens of flights to be cancelled for a second day. The chaos has caused frustration for travellers, and some shouting matches have been going on between protesters and stranded passengers. Officials are urging customers to postpone non-essential travel through Wednesday. Well, Beijing says the protests in Hong Kong show signs of terrorism. Analysts say if you only watch Chinese state media, you'd probably agree. Our Ben Wiedemann reports.
10 weeks of protests. Hundreds arrested. A key international airport overrun and paralyzed. Watching all this unfold, Beijing is not amused. A spokesman for China's Hong Kong and Macau office warned the protests have, in his words, begun to show signs of terrorism. The nationalist Chinese tabloid The Global Times published a video of the People's Armed Police, China's federal police, deploying in Shenzhen, right on the border with Hong Kong. 2 weeks before, the People's Liberation Army Hong Kong garrison posted a video online showing troops training to deal with rioters, and put out a statement stressing its determination and ability to protect Hong Kong's prosperity and stability. Hong Kong's charm status, part of China, but apart from China, at the end of the day is at China's pleasure. Under the territory's garrison law, the Hong Kong government can request the intervention of the Chinese army in the event of natural disaster or civil disorder. And civil disorder is in the air. With some anger focused on symbols of the Chinese state. Chief Executive Carrie Lam has a blunt warning.
Hong Kong society is not safe or stable. The rioters have pushed Hong Kong to the brink of no return.
Yet armed intervention by Beijing would shatter Hong Kong's international business-friendly image and strike the death knell to the one country, two systems arrangement. Pro-Beijing legislator Holden Chow insists that doomsday scenario is, at the moment, unlikely.
I don't think the PLA will come in to deal with the situation because I trust the Hong Kong police and the Hong Kong SAR government has the ability to deal with the situation here.
Perhaps, but as protests carry on or intensify and their impact is felt well beyond this tiny, crowded territory, that could change. Ben Wiedemann, CNN, Hong Kong.
And Paula Hancocks joins us now live from Hong Kong's International Airport. And Paula, this is the second day that these protesters have effectively shut the airport down. Is there any indication that police will try to clear these protesters?
Well, Linda, up until this point, we're really not seeing a police presence here. You do see some airport security, you see paramedics, but we're not seeing a heavy or, in fact, any police presence. Certainly, we understand from protesters that they believe there is a police presence here. They believe there could be undercover police here. In fact, the crowd you see behind me, there's one individual within the midst of those dozens of protesters who's been there for a number of hours now. The protesters are holding him because they believe that he is an undercover police officer. Now, there's no way of us being able to know if that's correct or not, but it does show the anger against the police that these protesters are feeling. Yes, these protests are still about the extradition bill and wanting that to be cancelled, a potential bill that could allow Hong Kongers to be extradited to be tried in China. But it has become far more wide-ranging than that now, especially since Sunday. Many more protesters coming out here, they say, because they're angry by what they see as this perceived police brutality, excessive force used against protesters. Police deny that. Carrie Lam, the chief executive, denies that as well. But this is why we're seeing thousands of people here at the Hong Kong International Airport. Linda?
And Paula, as you mentioned, this all began 10 weeks ago over that extradition bill, which basically would allow suspects in Hong Kong to face trial in mainland China. And although officials eventually said it was dead, they didn't withdraw it. And the chief executive was again grilled on that today. What happened?
That's right, and that was really key for the protesters. Carrie Lam says it is effectively dead. They weren't going to carry on with that bill, but what protesters want is for it to be officially withdrawn so that they say it can't be snuck through at a later date without protesters being able to fight against it. Now, Carrie Lam, once again at a press conference, was asked specifically about that. Let's listen to her response.
Do you, as Hong Kong's leader, have the autonomy to decide to withdraw the bill, yes or no? Or is this something that Beijing has to approve as well? In other words, have your hands been tied by Beijing in not allowing the bill to be withdrawn? Or is this a point of political pride on your part in not doing this and refusing to meet this demand of the protesters?
Well, actually, this
yes
question has been answered on previous occasions.
But you've evaded the question
Number one,
on numerous occasions.
As we have all heard from the spokesman of the Hong Kong and Macau Affairs Office, the central government is still confident that I myself, as the government of the Hong Kong SAR, together with the police force, that we are still capable of resolving this crisis.
Do you have the autonomy or not to withdraw the extradition bill, please?
The second point I want to make.
Could you answer that specific question? In response to the various
demands that we have heard, we have considered all factors and came up with a response that we have rehearsed time and again over the last 2 months. Thank you very much.
Do you have the autonomy or not to withdraw the extradition bill?
Answer your question, please.
You have not answered the question. You've evaded the question.
So avoiding the question completely there, we also know that a Beijing top official has said that they see these protests have begun to show signs of terrorism. So you're seeing the language from Beijing becoming a little stronger as well as they see the 10th week of these Hong Kong protests. Linda?
Yeah, 10th week. It's incredible how long this has gone on. Paula Hancocks, good to have you with us at the International Airport there in Hong Kong. Thank you.